Coverage of the National Football League brings us to historic Baltimore, Maryland and M&T Bank Stadium. Set to go now on a beautiful sunny afternoon. And off we go from M&T Bank Stadium. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. To pass, Flacco. And his first look is incomplete.
And that certainly could be a sign of things to come because they're blitzing to start this ball game. And it works for them there as they force the incomplete pass.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. They'll run it. Here's the rookie from Ohio State. And right away, he lost the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free. But a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. So possession still theirs, but now they face a 3rd down. Now the first carry here for their running. And he loses the football a 2nd time. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line. After the fumble recovery, it's Jackson. A short throw caught by Andrews. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
From the 43, here's 2nd down and 7. First carry now for Justice Hill. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. Now it's Jackson. And the catch made by Hopkins. And he will have a Ravens first down as they convert on 3rd and 3 with a nice gain of 7 yards. Well, Charles, it's early, but that's a key 3rd down conversion. Remember, they forced the turnover on the opening drive. Now they're in a position where they look like they'll at least get 3 out of this.
A great example of complementary football if they're able to cash this in, isn't it, partner? Because defense does this job, takes it away, turns over to the offense. They just pick up a nice first down there. Maybe it's time to think about taking a shot at the end zone because it looks like the field goal is almost assured.
No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. It's rare that a man his size can at least push forward for a yard, but they stopped him there for nothing.
You're talking about Tiny? You're talking about the little guy back there? That monster. Yeah, you're exactly right. And it takes a group effort to get a guy like that down and not let him find some space. The first guy in, he's got to take one for the team, right? Because he's just waiting there and holding on for everyone else to help him out.
Fights through and now a crease. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. That's good for a first down, his 2nd catch of the opening drive. If you're these receivers, you got to be ready because when he's going to throw it quick on that RPO, he's going to throw it quick.
And this is why you spend time with your guy either in the offseason, during the week, the whole bundle. Because sometimes it's just telepathy. You both see the same thing, and he knows get the ball to him right away.
They'll roll him out right. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. In for the sack, Myles Garrett.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. They'll bring one of the tight ends in motion left. Jackson now. He dumps it off for Henry. That was play number 7 on this drive, and it got him 7 yards. Well, safe to say the passing game has found a rhythm. He's now 4 of 4, but might need to be 5 of 5 to keep this drive going here as they face a 3rd down.
And maybe perhaps you show a running play, right? Maybe a little play action here to go ahead and let him throw the ball downfield. I wouldn't get away from him flinging it because 4 for 4 already. I think he's got a good chance of picking this one up here on 3rd down.
They snap it at 1. Now it's Jackson. And in for the Ravens touchdown. Rashad Bateman on the touchdown throw from Lamar Jackson. And the Ravens take the early turnover and convert it into an opening touchdown.
When you're a great route runner, it makes you that much better as a receiver because now your quarterback trusts that you're going to be where he expects, and he's able to deliver the ball on time.
Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now a 7-0 game. Here's the kick unit now for the Ravens as they'll send this one away. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Second drive coming up here for Cleveland as they return to the field on offense. They had the fumble on the last drive, wound up leading to the opening touchdown. Now they'll try again here, 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
And this is where coaches sometimes fall into different camps. Your guy just fumbled. It led to a touchdown. Do you stay with him, or do you put him in the doghouse? This is definitely a show of confidence here as he's right back out there and carrying the ball again.
Here is 3rd down and 4. Flacco. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
Here's Flacco. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Whenever I see a drop like that, I have to kind of take a step back and check myself a little bit. So used to seeing those big guys make big-time spectacular plays that when they drop one, I have to remind myself, we ask a lot out of these guys. Block and catch the football, not easily done in today's NFL.
Now Flacco. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Kyle Van Noy, the outside linebacker, coming up to drop him for a loss of a full 10 yards.
Now that's a heck of a moment for your first sack of the game because if this long drive ends without a touchdown because of that sack, we're going to look back and say that might be one of the biggest plays of this contest.
Here's Flacco. And that's going to be incomplete.
Ray bounced up after taking a sack and took a shot downfield. I think a lot of us thought maybe he'd run draw in that situation. Instead, tried to get all back in one play.
Yeah, 3rd and long, thought he needed the deep pass, couldn't connect it.
Maybe he was hoping for a penalty downfield to give him the yardage they needed.
And Bojorquez on to punt as he gets it away. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. Baltimore set to take over here for their 2nd possession of the game. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. They'll bring the tight end in motion right. Here's Jackson. He's got his man. It's Andrews. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and that will bring up 2nd down. The tight end in motion right. Inside handoff, Henry. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. They'll try to run for the first with Henry. Fighting down past the 45. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
Slot man moves right. Now they'll fake the jet sweep and run up the middle with Henry. And just 1 yard here from the 49 to the 50.
A 1 yard gain can look like a disaster, but it all depends on how the game is going. Is it a series of 1 yard gains running the ball? If that's the case, you might have to start thinking about throwing it a little bit more. But if it's just the occasional 1 yard run, hey, congratulations to the defense. They won that one. Come back and get them the next time.
In motion left, Bateman. They go play action now. Jackson, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
The good news, they kept the ball. Bad news, it's 3rd and long. Throwing is Jackson. Oh, he had a man open. He overshot him. It's incomplete.
Looked like they were set up defensively in a zone coverage, but somehow they found a seam because that receiver all alone. By rights, that should have been a touchdown, but somehow this ball's overthrown.
Facing 4th down, Baltimore will punt. Jordan Stout out there. DeAndre Carter back deep. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and the Browns will take over 1st and 10. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. Now 2nd and 3. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39. So not a lineman, but the tight end instead this time, drawing the holding call.
And more what you're getting with tight ends are guys who are much more receiver than blocker. They may be willing, but that might not be their thing. Oftentimes, they'll be the ones getting the penalties.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Flacco looks to throw. Got an open man. That's David Njoku, the tight end. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
3rd down, Flacco from the gun. That is caught, and he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
All right, let's just go ahead and walk through this one pretty easily, right? Blast off the line of scrimmage, get downfield to a certain point, usually around 8 to 10 yards, turn around and make sure the quarterback sees your numbers and set yourself up for the pass.
A well-executed curl route by Charles Davis. On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. If these kinds of lanes are available, you have to feel like he's going to have a pretty big game on the ground.
Yeah, you can tell early on he's got a little burst in his step, and that's a big pickup right there on first down.
Just need a yard here, 2nd and 1. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. He winds up giving a yard back there, and now it's 3rd and 2. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. The start of the 2nd quarter, and it's the Browns in control of the football. And this offense on 3rd down today, they've hit 2 for 4 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. They end up getting stuffed twice after that 9-yard gain back on 1st down.
Well, that's not an easy play for a defensive end because most of his responsibility has him getting upfield and working, but how about his vision to see where the play was going, crashed down inside, and tackled him for a loss.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20. And Baltimore's offense set for this next possession. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. Play action. Now Jackson. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
As a corner, you have to be able to run with guys step for step downfield in man coverage and make up ground quickly in zone. You have to put yourself in position to make plays, just like that one we saw there.
After the incompletion, they'll try once more from the 20-yard line on 2nd and 10. Now Jackson. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. It'll be a loss of only a couple on the sack, but now it'll bring up 3rd down. Well, it was 2nd long, now it's 3rd and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving them exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
To throw is Jackson. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Had to pass there, 3rd and long on your own side of the field. Just couldn't come up with anything.
That's why teams always talk about having to win the early downs, meaning you've got to gain yardage and set yourself up for 3rd and short, because when it's 3rd and long, the odds go down significantly trying to pick up the 1st down, even throwing the football.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Browns set and ready to go on offense. For the Browns, good starting field position as they have it 1st and 10 at the 40. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
Well, I think after that run, the defense is getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
Flacco fakes the give, sets to throw. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Now, that's the type of play that'll fire up a defense, holding them to 1 yard on a first down run. It'll be interesting to see if the offense decides to press the run at all or if they'll abandon it now after gaining only 1 on that play.
Ball spotted at the 45. Here's a 2nd and 9. Flacco. Pass complete to Judy on the out route. And they get Jack Conklin there, the right tackle. They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Setting up to throw, Flacco. Open man downfield is Judy. He's got it. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. A gain there of 30 big ones.
Oftentimes now, offenses aren't nearly as precise as days gone by. They just tell receivers, find an open patch of grass and let the quarterback find you. And that's exactly what they did on that play. First with the pass through the air, nice chunk of yardage there, and then additional pickup with his legs after the catch.
Barely got that snap off. Flacco now. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
And that's where you're counting on a receiver's size being an advantage. They were hoping he could go up the top of a smaller DB and haul that one in. A good thought, but that time it didn't work out.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now it's Flacco. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. And they'll run on the inside handoff. And he appears to be about 2 feet short on 3rd and 3. Leaves him with a 4th and 1.
When a good play is made on defense, oftentimes leverage is the key to everything. Defensive line not getting turned, all the other guys making sure they're in the right spot. And on that play, they were able to stop him short of a first down.
Hopkins' kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So it was 4th down and 1 in the red zone, but they elect to take just the 3.
And I'm a little bit surprised that that's exactly what they decided to do. I kind of thought that they would go for it in that situation. But sometimes I'm sure you just think to yourself, take the 3 points, put them in your pocket, and move on.
Following the made field goal for 3, Hopkins now to kick it off. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. And now here come the Ravens. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 26. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked out and incomplete.
And that's a nice job there because you've got to play the ball, not the man when in coverage. That'll keep you away from a lot of needless penalties, and he's able to knock that one away.
Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. Here's Jackson to throw. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
This offense so far on 3rd down, they've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Play action. It's Jackson. Looking right side, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. Here's a handoff out of the gun. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because let the linebackers run free. They can also make plays himself.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Passing play, Flacco. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down. The turnover put him in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
To pass, Flacco. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Browns 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Charles, to move the chains that time, they had to complete it into double coverage, and they got it done.
And it's never easy overcoming multiple defenders, but he sure made it look simple. Found the right spot to exploit and won his 1-on-2 matchup.
From the gun, they'll try to run it. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
An awful lot of congestion in the middle third of the field, but how about our defensive tackle right there? He didn't just hold the line. He provided some push and smacked the ball carrier down for a loss.
This short pass into the hands of Njoku. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the 1st. Now Flacco. They're looking for Judy, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Roquan Smith. And the Ravens are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 24-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
They snap it at 1. Now it's Jackson. Oh, he had a man running free, but he overshot him, and it's incomplete.
And there, even if you've got to take something off that throw so that he slows down to catch it, that's far more preferable than what happened there. A big miss on what should have been a touchdown.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Jackson shoves him aside and able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down, but a nice little gain. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. Oh, and they sent the man in motion too late. This is going to be a delay. So a little tardy getting everyone set, and the clock hit 0 before they could snap it.
Yeah, you can take your time and use the clock and try and get set up, but once it gets near 5 seconds, that's when you often hear a quarterback yelling, hurry, hurry, to make sure everybody's ready to get the snap off.
Not ideal there. That delay of game backs them up 5 yards, so now they need 7 yards on 3rd down. Jackson. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Lamar Jackson, such a threat with those legs, able to improvise and get the 1st.
Evident there that he learned his lesson from the last drive. No way he was going to force a throw that time. When nothing broke open, kept it, and ended up running for a 1st down himself.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now. Down at the 33. Henry out of the pistol. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Now it's Jackson. DeAndre Hopkins making the catch. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins, a 24-yard touchdown. And the Ravens are able to add on to that lead. Those are the touchdowns that aren't just scored on Sundays or on Monday night. Those are the ones that are scored during the week because they had that preparation in a great route run.
Oh, I love that observation because you don't just roll out on game day and say, okay, go run this route and let's get it done. That means exactly what you said. The practice had to occur beforehand, which led to the timing, which led to the touchdown.
Here's the kick unit now for the Ravens as they'll send this one away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. A big mistake last time they were on the field, tossing that interception inside the red zone and really taking away what had been a pretty successful drive up to that point.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any question about it. As they head out on the field for this drive, that whole offensive unit is just thinking redemption. You know, they moved it really well, didn't pay it off. This time, they want to make sure that ball ends up in the end zone, and they're the ones possessing it.
Just a gain of a couple there, and it's second down. I know when you got a top tight end like this, you want to get him involved, but when you do, you're hoping for more than that.
You certainly are. You've got to try and get him some space where he can make a play downfield or at least an opportunity for some rack yardage, right? That run after catch.
Hands it off out of the gun. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8.
I think what we just saw there, partner, was linebacking speed that can trump O-line power. We see that at times because he filled the gap before the offensive lineman could get to the next level and take him on.
Flacco. And this is going to be incomplete.
It's going to be another frustrating end to a drive here. This offense, they've not been able to get anything going in this first half. And now it's going to be time to gather on the sidelines and try and figure out what's going wrong. Who has an idea? Who has a plan? Time to implement it.
On 4th down, on is Corey Bojorquez to punt. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. That'll be a 44-yard boot, just a yard on the return as he's covered up quickly. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Baltimore about ready to go on offense. They've had a very solid first half, and as we near the end of that first half, they're just looking for a little more on top of their lead right now.
And when you put together a game plan on offense, you put together what you think is going to be the best possible scenario, right? Hey, we're going to score. These are the plays that are going to do it. But you also put together your counters, meaning after they make adjustments to what you're doing, what do we have to go to next?
The adjustment to the adjustment?
Exactly. So I can't wait to see if we come out of the half, how they're going to go about doing things. Do you just keep running what you ran before, or do you go to your counters expecting those adjustments to happen?
Before that, we'll see the end here of this first half. Finding space at the 40 as he'll get this one up to the 44-yard line. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down.
And this pass rush has really been bringing the heat and has already gotten home a few times here in the first half. So how about the play call there? Sometimes if you can't protect, you've got to fool them. Screen passes like that can take a little steam out of what's been a relentless rush so far.
That's complete to his receiver, Bateman. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. 2 yards to go, second down. Here's Jackson. He'll find Bateman once more. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
And Jackson throwing once more. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Brought down by multiple defenders, and it's a loss of 12. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's a game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
They come up on second and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Jackson from the shotgun. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make third down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big third down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
On third down, Henry. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. Fourth down, and out comes Jordan Stout here to punt. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line. And the Browns going to go on offense one final time in this first half. And with 7 seconds remaining, not much time to really do anything. Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10. Here's a fake on the jet sweep, and instead a give up the middle. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Ready for the second half. 14-3 our score as we are back underway on EA Sports. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Raven offense set to start this third quarter. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better. And I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
Joe Tryon-Shoyinka in pursuit that time, and he gets the tackle for loss.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
Throwing is Jackson. A short throw caught by Andrews. They'll wind up getting 10 back there as it'll leave them with a 3rd and 5. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Jackson now. That is caught, and he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. He continues to deliver a first down here. He had 4 catches in the first half, and this one number 5.
What an intelligent play as he found open grass, and uncovered quickly. A nice clutch play to move the chains. The defense, they've got to do a much better job of accounting for these shorter routes.
A first down carry for Henry. And he's going to take this across the 50 into Browns territory. A solid run on first down, gain of 7, leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. From the 48-yard line, here's 2nd and 3. Jackson, options out left. And maybe the wrong read there as he's going to go down immediately. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down. And not a lot of success to be found there.
Oh, you got that right, partner, because if you're trying to make guys miss about 10 yards or so downfield, that's a pretty good play. But if you've got to do it in your own backfield, I consider that a problem. That doesn't work too well.
They'll bring the tight end in motion right here. Oh, the motion comes too late, and this is going to be a delay. Well, you got to think, Charles, that one's on the quarterback as everybody was up at the line of scrimmage. He just didn't call for the snap in time.
Yeah, I think he needs a little bit better awareness out there because you got to know when the clock's in single digits and either snap it or get a timeout called if you have one.
After the delay, they're backed up even further for 3rd and long. Now it's Jackson. On the move past the 40. Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line. A big play there as they get the conversion on 3rd and 13. So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 35-yard line. From the gun, a run for Hill. And he is going to lose yardage here. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. But you've told me before, it's great to be an athlete. A lot of great athletes out there. It's good to have instincts, and he has those.
I would take those above athleticism in a lot of cases because if you know where the ball's going before anyone else can get there and block you, you can make up for a lack of athleticism by being in the right spot at the right time.
And took him down in the backfield with those instincts. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And now that sets up 3rd and 2. In motion goes the tight end. Now Jackson. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
They converted twice on 3rd down that drive already, but couldn't make it a 3rd. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt?
So 4th down coming up. John Harbaugh sent on the field goal unit. This from 44 yards out, left hash. And this one is right through. And they will stretch the lead now to 17-3. Well, they picked up right where they left off from the first half. First drive after the break, they come away with 3 and increase that lead.
Yeah, and you just want to keep building on that lead, don't you? Whether it's 6 points or 3 points, take everything you can get, keep maneuvering, keep adding to it, keep making it difficult for them to come back.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Here's the Browns now. They get set for their first possession of the 3rd quarter. And their deficit a little wider now than it was at halftime following the field goal a moment ago.
But the goal is still the same because you know they want to come out, establish a rhythm in the second half, and get going. Make no mistake about it, though. Kicking field goals, not in their game plan. They need to get the ball in the end zone.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain there as he kept it himself at 2nd down. Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so they didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
Now Flacco. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. And they're able to get this one across the 35. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down.
And that's one of the better plays we've seen this offense put together so far. They haven't been able to get on track much at all. But listen, they're only down a couple of scores with the rest of this quarter and the entire fourth remaining. So, stranger things have happened.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And they get him behind the line, so that short gain on first down quickly negated. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up third down.
But these guys going to chop into that deficit? They got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Flacco looks to throw. Throwing left sideline there, but it's incomplete.
Well, this is just a continuation of what we saw in the first half. So much for the fresh start to begin the third quarter. Still off-target throws, no rhythm throwing the football, and obviously no touchdown scored in this game.
The Browns send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. Call it 46 yards on the punt, just a single yard on the return as he was covered quickly. And they will take over 1st and 10. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense.
Yep.
Run what you do best.
Exactly.
Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Looked like both sides were anticipating a quick throw there, and the defense was ready to jump in and deny it, and they did.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. To throw is Jackson. They set up the screen for Henry. They get 7 there on the screen. It'll set up a 3rd down.
With all the success they've had throwing the football as a pass rusher, you know you've got to come hard when you see him drop back to throw. So I really like this call to counteract that pass rush with a screen. It turns into positive yardage. A lot of times the offense says, just replace the rusher with the ball, and it turns into a good play.
From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a 1st down.
Has a pretty good throw on the curl route there. 3rd down, and they pick up a 1st.
Defense should be aware for that, right?
They should be aware, but it was so hard sometimes.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Because when they sell that route really well, you think they're going upfield, then they curl back, show their numbers to the quarterback, and complete the play.
Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Hill. So the completion good for just 3. And that's going to bring up 2nd down.
And that's a good job there by the corner. And we do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
From the gun, Jackson. He'll get it once more into the hands of Hill. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like, right at the 40. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
Henry up the middle. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first.
Well, it wasn't a goal line situation, but how about the goal line formation on 3rd and short? They went in and went heavy. No surprise on who was going to get the football. How about the power exhibited there?
Yeah, that was just put a hat on a hat, drive forward. Nice job to pick it up. They keep it with Henry on 1st down. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Now, that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's 2nd and 6. Tenth carry now for Derrick Henry. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
Well, this has been a long drive. In fact, it's eaten up a good chunk of the 3rd quarter, which is precisely what you want when you're playing with the lead. You control the football, you control the clock, and impose your will on the defense.
And now Jackson will look to throw it. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
We're in Baltimore. 3rd quarter action. 2nd and 10. Off the option, here's Henry. And a pretty good burst right there as he'll take this down to the 33. 54 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front 7, reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Hill. And a 5-yard gain as he's down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. From the 28, it's 2nd and 5. They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the 3rd quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
Play action. Now Jackson. And that went to the right side and incomplete. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed.
Team at that point, and they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
And this one is right down the middle, and that will extend their lead even further. So just 3 points there, but that important in the grand scheme of things because it's now a 3-score lead.
And to now, the other guys haven't shown that they can do anything offensively, so just take the points, keep adding that cushion, and let your defense win you the football game.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. And the Browns getting set to go. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up second down.
After watching him drop that slant, I can hear my old coach's voice ringing in my ears right now. You can't run with the ball until you catch it. Trying to get those rack yards before he secured it.
2nd and 10. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. 13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first. 3 quarters in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Baltimore. It's the Browns with a deficit. They're trailing, but with the football here to start the 4th. Setting up to throw, Flacco. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And it's second down. Flacco. That ball caught by the former Toledo Rocket, Deontay Johnson. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 44-yard line. 13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first.
Partney sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you say, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go. And let's see who's faster.
And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Flacco will take to the air again. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Here's Flacco. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 16. 17 yards on the play as they try to eat into this 17-point deficit.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. Now it's Flacco. And that's going to be caught for a Browns touchdown. Cedric Tillman, a 16-yard touchdown. And the Browns are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter. So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you'd kept them out of the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on them. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. And Baltimore's offense set for this next possession. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. Now he's loose at the 40 and finally brought down at the 31-yard line. 96 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing in a situation when they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
Jackson. A short throw caught by Andrews. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. Used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
Here's Jackson to throw. The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
That was a nice job defensively of disguising their coverage and making it difficult for the quarterback to lock in on a receiver, and it results in an incomplete pass.
Here's 2nd and 10. Again, Jackson. Complete. It's Henry. That helps the completion percentage, but not much else, and now it's 3rd and 10. Now, they couldn't get anything going there out on the right side in the flat of the swing pass.
And didn't we have a discussion with their staff about wanting to get the backs more involved in the passing game? Huge emphasis for this game, but obviously the defense had other plans and really made a nice play.
On 3rd down, they're going to go with the option. And they're able to corral him right around the 8, and that's short of the first down. He'll get 7 yards there on the keeper, but still 4th down. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
On 4th down, here's the option. And he will have the first down before he's brought down at the 3. Well, we kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it, but in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out.
Well, that's the fear any defense has when the quarterback gets involved in the running game. You don't usually account for him, and he's hurting them today.
Yeah, he's been very involved in the running game. Defensively, when you got the coverage good downfield, how do you account for him, though?
Occasionally, you start to spy him. Take someone who has the same agility, who can dance with him, run with him, and try and keep him in the pocket.
Yeah, it'll be especially critical here as we come down the stretch in the 4th. Well, no doubt here in the 4th quarter, this is a huge defensive series.
Hey, they can read the scoreboard. They realize if they give up a field goal here, this game might be out of reach. They understand the stakes and are playing accordingly.
Henry pushes past him. Yeah, he'll work free from one tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
That gives him 98 yards in this game, and he's got to feel pretty good about that, but the entire offense does. The big thing, though, Brandon, they've got to get to 100, though.
You think he knows he's at 98?
I think someone has told him by now, and here's the thing. Getting to 100 or more is 10.
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Baltimore. A touchdown run there from a yard out. And the Ravens are an extra point away from making this a 3-score game. An important score there, CD, and now an important extra point because it would make it a 3-score game.
Love the math there, and at this point in the 4th quarter, look, we all need next-gen stats, right? We all use them, but we don't need them here, do we? Because that means it's almost a certain victory.
Extra point right down the middle. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Here's the kick unit now for the Ravens as they'll send this one away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Cleveland offense making their way out. As this offense comes back out here, Charles, they're trailing in this ball game. And they've been on the sideline for a while. They did score their last time out, but they just had to watch that long, sustained drive. So we'll see if they can shake the rust off.
Yeah, and that's always a question that you have when you have to come off the bench after having sat there for a long time. Are you ready to go? Are you loosened up? But even more so, are you mentally alert and ready to put your best product out there?
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Flacco. That's going to be caught by Judy. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. Passing play. Flacco. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds him for the first down.
They go pass again with Flacco. And incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now Flacco. And that is incomplete.
I like his awareness in the pocket there. Nowhere to go with the football. So instead of forcing it to the sideline, he's just going to put this one into the harbor and live to fight another down without getting wet.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. From the gun, Flacco. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. He's got his target. That's complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
Well, give them credit. They're going to stay and fight this out to the end. 4th down, you've got to go for it. And they not only convert, but pick up some good yardage as well.
From the gun, he'll hand this off. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
From the 21, here's a 2nd and 7. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And a couple of yards as they move it from the 21 to the 19.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
And they'll run on the inside handoff. That he will have the first down before he's tackled at the 12. 47 yards for him on the ground now on that, his 20th carry of the ball game.
But sometimes, Brandon, there's just not a secret to how things get done. He's been running well all game long, and they continue to rely on him in this key situation.
They told us they were going to rely on him. They have. He comes through there, a big third down conversion. Down to the 6-yard line on a pickup of 6 as he gets halfway to the goal line. Now, the offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. To pass, Flacco. That's caught left side by Judy. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down. Now Flacco. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. So he stopped for no gain. And it's going to be 3rd down and a ways to go here, 3rd and 14.
And that's when it's fun to play defense. When you're able to diagnose a play right from the beginning, get all your guys to the football and spill the play, that's when you have a lot of fun playing on that side of the ball.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. They're going to try it. Here's Flacco. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. Now they are really in the driver's seat here, enjoying this lead late in the 4th quarter. The defense does have all 3 timeouts, but at this point, doesn't look like it's going to matter much. They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4.
Well, you don't turn your nose up at a gain of 4, do you? They'll take that on 1st down. Playbook's got to be pretty well open on 2nd and 6.
The ball resting on the 20. Here's 2nd and 6. They'll try and choose some clock with Henry. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4. Here now, 3rd and a yard. That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit. Bad time to get a delay of game penalty there. Not that there's a good time, but that makes it 3rd and 6. Now Jackson. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
And, Brandon, this is the time of the game when Jackson could really take over. He's got the defense's legs a little bit tired. He's got them on the run.
Yeah, this defense looks gassed, and you're exactly right. 2nd half with the lead. This is when Lamar Jackson seems to thrive. So it's a win here for the Ravens, and it was just too much Lamar Jackson. He really played well.
Yeah, he did a little bit of everything, didn't he? He had 2 touchdown passes through the air, another one on the ground, and that defense, they really had no answer for many of their drives.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. The Ravens are victorious here as we say so long from Baltimore.